We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. If I could have a roll call.
Mr. Fiddler.
Here.
Mr. Burridge.
Here.
Mr. Oberlin.
Here.
Mr. Love.
Here.
Mr. Huckabee.
Here.
Mr. Alexander. Mr. Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Regan.
Here.
Thank you. Before I get into the agenda, Jackie Cooper, who actually I replaced on the commission, he passed away on, I believe, Friday, sometime over the weekend, maybe Friday. And Commissioner Cooper served from during Governor Henry's term, and so that would have been, I guess, 2003-ish through 2011. And so I wasn't here to while Jack was the commissioner, but I can imagine, knowing Jackie, that things were always very interesting and a lot of fun. I'm sure of that. So all of his friends, myself being one, very much are gonna miss Jackie Cooper. So if I could ask for a brief moment of thought and prayer for Jackie. Thank you. Now there were several individuals who were on that commission that Commissioner Cooper served on that are on this commission, and I'm not sure if anybody would like to comment on Commissioner Cooper. If so, feel free to do so.
Well, if it pleases the Chairman, I'd like to say just a couple of words. Jackie, for all those who knew you and knew him, and I know there are a lot of you in the audience from the smiles on your face that knew him. He was the kind of guy that could bring a smile to your face. He was quick, he was smart, he was relentless, he was generous, although sometimes it was hard to figure that out by the number of times I got fleeced by him. But he was a good guy. He was a good man, and he loved OU. He loved this state. He loved this department, and you know, the world is not the same because of Jackie leaving it, and we're going to miss him. He was a good friend, and good friend to the department, and a good friend to everybody out there. As the chairman said, we're just going to miss him, and I know I'm going to miss him.
I too, with Commissioner Burgess, sat on the commission for the first time with Jack, and I know walking out to the parking lot after my first commission meeting, I kind of was lost. Really couldn't find the men's room in here till probably the second meeting, and went out the door, and he goes, "When are you going to trade off that car you got and parked in that?" And so I said, "Well, I'll come see you." He said, "Well, when you come, bring your wife." And sure shooting, when I did go up there, I said, "Man, I just don't." He goes, "Let me talk to your wife about it." And then that was about. I bought 3 cars from him since, and he's a good man, there's no question, but he's a man of his word. Many times he would know that I was traveling somewhere, and he'd go, "Well, there's a really good restaurant. Let me just call and make a reservation for you." And he'd get out the phone and call, and I somewhat felt obligated the first time he did, but when I walked in, I felt like I was royalty or the owner or something, because they'd roll out the red carpet and say, "You know, Mr. Cooper, yes, Al." And so he always was generous with his thought, generous with his money, and he was diligent, as Brad said, for the state commission. So I'll miss him, and I know that there's a lot of people here that will too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving us the opportunity to kind of talk about
a friend of ours, certainly a friend of everybody in the agency. I certainly was on the blunt end of his wrath at times in these meetings.
Get in line.
Yeah, he and I'd like to just relate one story, and it's similar to what the commissioner had mentioned. Him and I went out to eat up in Edmond, really nice restaurant, had tablecloths and everything. I usually eat at noon at a drive-in place, you know, but he took a really fancy place, and we were wanting to talk about something to do with Highway 74, I'm sure, up north part of the city. And while we were there, Justice Opawa came in and sat down in a booth, a couple booths away from us, and of course, I knew the justice and just said hi to him. But as we finished our lunch, I felt obligated to go over and say something to him and introduce Commissioner Cooper to him, and I did. I walked over and Justice Opawa stood up like the gentleman he was, and Commissioner Cooper stuck out his hand, and I introduced him, and while he still had a hold of his hand, he said, "What kind of car you drive?" And I thought, you know, I know that I turned red in my face and got a little flush, and he wouldn't let go of his hand until he told him what kind of car he drove, and he said, "But you know, I'm thinking about trading it off," and that was the worst thing he could have said. I seen Commissioner Cooper at his office a couple weeks later, and I was relaying that story to Commissioner Cooper's wife. She was there, and how he embarrassed me. She said, "Yeah, he does that to me all the time." And about that time, the commissioner walked up. He said, "You know, I sold him a car 2 weeks later." But he was quite the guy. You could never get ahead of him on anything. He was a great commissioner. He tried to make every meeting, only when he got really down is when he wasn't here. But I think he really helped us as an agency. He helped a lot of people in the agency that a lot of folks don't realize. But he's a good man, really a good man, and he'll certainly be missed.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to say it was really a great honor to serve with Jackie. He was everything you all said. He was civic-minded, philanthropic, and he was a pain in the arse, which is not a cuss word. You can Google it. He tried to sell me a car, but he didn't quite get there because I said, "Look, I drive my cars forever. My car has 180,000 miles on it, and so I'm not going to drive one." And he said, "Look, I'm more interested in a sale than a profit." So I test drove a car, and I just didn't want to cut the check. And he said, "I'll tell you what, I've got another car that's a piece of junk, and it's got 150,000 miles on it. You can buy it." But we didn't quite get there. But to be brutally honest, I think he would have given me such a deal would have made me feel bad. So I just took my clunker and kept going. But when he was at Yukon, he actually had a dealership that outsold Oklahoma City. I mean, the guy was just tremendous. He was a fanatic. He wouldn't change his mind, and he wouldn't change the subject, whether it's about his family or OU sports or just giving somebody crap. I mean, he was really a good guy, a special person. It was an honor to serve with him. He'll be sorely missed.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I knew Jackie kind of personally, and Oklahoma City and the state of Oklahoma is definitely a better place because of him. So anyhow, we'll move on. Let's see. We've got a couple of guests that I wanted to mention. Brent Burwell with the Concrete Association and Gary Covino with the FHWA. Thank you for being here. And next, if I could call on Secretary Ridley for a presentation on the Work Zone Awareness Week, or Director Patterson.
Yep. Mr. Chairman, and the governor certainly recognizes the dangers and the hazards that our employees are in people that drive through our work zones, the hazards that they face as they travel through those work zones. It is recent evidence of the hazard is the 2 highway patrolmen, one was killed and one seriously injured, and they were stopped at a wreck site, so it's kind of a work zone. They have all their lights and everything flashing, but still, because they work in such a dangerous area, this is the very same place that our employees work, in the contractor's employees' work. One was killed and one was seriously injured. We have a monument out front of the building here that, you know, Mike, we put up here not too long ago. And there's I went out there to look at it a while ago before we came in. 57 names on it. 37 names have been added to that since I came to work for the department. And 6 of those names were added while I was director of the agency. So it really comes to deep emotional when you think about the people that have lost their lives or been injured on the job, and most of those are in work zones. Let me read what the governor has to say. Whereas construction repairs to Oklahoma highways must often be done while roads are still under traffic, putting both motorists and workers at risk every day. And whereas emergency repairs, accidents caused unexpected work zones along Oklahoma highways, which places crews and responders in direct contact with traffic. And whereas preliminary 2014 statistics show 10 people were killed and 600 injured in 1,145 collisions in Oklahoma work zones, and whereas the past 5 years, 89 people have been killed and 4,461 injured in 8,285 accidents in Oklahoma work zones. Whereas many of these fatalities and injuries were caused by inattentive driving, following too closely, speeding in construction zones, and whereas by state law the fines for speeding in work zones are doubled, and whereas drivers should set aside distractions, be extra cautious, and give work zones their undivided attention when traveling, and whereas the state of Oklahoma is dedicated to enhancing work zone safety for highway workers, emergency responders, and motorists, whereas in the history, 57 Oklahoma Department of Transportation employees have been killed in the line of duty, more than any other state agency. Now, therefore, I, Mary Fallin, Governor of the State of Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim the week of March 23rd through 27th, 2015 as Work Zone Awareness Week in the state of Oklahoma. I encourage all citizens to exercise care, caution, and patience on the roadways during this dedicated week and throughout the year as well. This proclamation was signed by her, put in on her hand on the 25th of February. I'd like to present this to you and Mike, if we could. Mike, you want to come up here? Or you want to do it down here? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Secretary. If I could add one thing about Jackie Cooper, since I have the microphone. Thank you, Commissioner Burgess, for your comment about how Jackie loved this agency. He absolutely did. It's one of those situations where once you're a commissioner, you're always a commissioner. I know Jackie had numerous conversations with both me and the chief engineer about projects in and around his district and how important it was, and he was constantly imploring on us to stay within the 8-year plan and meet the schedule, and we certainly appreciated his vim and vigor for his position. Mr. Chairman, as is often the case with ODOT, we win awards, and we're very proud to do so. We've earned 2 more awards that I'd like to call Brent Burwell up to present to the agency. He's from the Concrete Paving Association. Mr. Chairman, if I might, Brent Burwell.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Mike. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, members of the commission. I'm honored to bring this item before you today. It's a great pleasure, it's a great time to work in transportation in Oklahoma. As this commission, Secretary Ridley, Director Patterson have worked diligently to get more funds flowing into the construction program. I think it's incumbent upon the industry, working along with our partners at ODOT, not only to deliver these projects as promised, but to deliver the best quality projects that we can. I think this has been evidenced by the number of awards that you guys have seen over the last few years. We just last month had our partners in the asphalt industry recognized for excellence on the national level of their projects, and I'm very happy to bring you 2 more projects for the concrete paving industry today. These projects we're going to honor today or recognize today were first had to go through a state competition and win their state competition in their respective categories. Then they went on to the national competition where they competed with several projects across the country. And the top 2 projects in each category were selected. These are either gold or silver winners, and I'd like to present those to you today. The first one is in the overlays category. It was a silver recipient. The project was the overlay of the Okarche bypass in Kingfisher County. Contractor was Do It Construction. The owner was the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, and the design or consulting engineer was Russell Engineering. So you want to have those guys come forward and get a picture? And the second project in the Divided Highways Rural category, Silver Award recipient, is a project on Interstate 40 in Okmulgee and Okfuskee counties in Oklahoma. The contractor was again Do It Construction Company, the owner engineer, Oklahoma Department of Transportation. So, come up and accept your award.
Okay, let's move on to, if I could ask for a motion for approval of the minutes from our last meeting on February 9th.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second?
Any questions or changes to those minutes? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Okay, approval of the minutes. Next, our consent docket, number 27. If I could have a motion for approval of it.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Any questions on it? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Oberlin.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Very good. Next, Mr. Tegler with the engineering contracts.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Secretary. Item 28 are the engineering contracts this month. I'm going to summarize those because I have 14 parts, parts A through N. These cover divisions 1, 4, 5, and 7. They are consisting of 6 bridge and approach projects, 2 widen and resurfacing projects, 4 grading, drain, and surface projects, and 3 grade, drain, bridge, and surface projects. We have 9 consultants doing the engineering on these projects, just under $14 million in engineering fees, with $146.7 million estimated in construction costs. All projects are included in the 8-year construction work plan. I can answer any questions if you have any. Recommendation is approval for recommendation, please.
A lot for this month, for sure. Any particular reason for just a timing thing,
It's timing
Tim, or-
again. Yes, sir. As soon as we have these ready, we bring them to the commission. So,
Do I have a motion for approval of number 28?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for Tim on the engineering contracts? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Oberlin.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Okay, 28 passes. 29, the supplements.
thank you. Item 29, we have 6 parts, A through F. Part A is a statewide contract for additional bridge inspections with CEC Corporation for $100,000. Part B is a statewide contract for additional bridge inspections for our reinforced concrete box girders. That is with Burgess and Nyepel for $565,000. Part C is also a statewide contract. It's our on-demand geotechnical investigation contract. We have 4 firms there. We are going to supplement their contracts for $100,000 each. Part D is also statewide. All districts are on-demand shop drawing review. We have 2 firms, AIA Engineers, MKEC Engineering. Total aggregate for the 2 of them would be $750,000. Part E is a Latimer County in Division 2 to finish the design plans for some bridge replacements. This is with EST, and the total not to exceed is $206,250. And finally, Part F in Marshall County, also in Division 2, is with EST to finish the design plans. This is for a not to exceed $196,000. Approval for recommendation, please.
Do I have a motion for approval of the engineering contract supplements?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions for Tim on number 29?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Is the difference between A and B, number A and B, is there any delineation between hands-on bridge inspections versus just additional bridge inspections?
No, they're basically the same. The Part A is a continuation of some of our local bridges. We just needed to bring that one to commission to add some money to their contract. The Part B is a reinforced concrete box girders, and we have some interesting structures in the state that you have to crawl inside these boxes in the bridge and review them. And if they find anything that's out of the ordinary, then we probably ask them to come up with some design plans also. Hopefully that'll answer your question.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Oberlin.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
29 passes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Tim. Next, number 30, Mr. Atkins with the lettings.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, members of the Commission, item 30 consists of the final May, the tentative June, and the tentative July 2015 bid openings, and the Department recommends approval of item 30.
Do I have a motion for approval of number 30?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Any questions for Mr. Atkins? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
30 passes. Thank you. Mr. Raymond with change orders less than $50,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, members of the Commission. I'd like to present item number 31, parts A through R. These represent the change orders on projects with a cumulative total of $50,000 or less. This item is presented for your information only and no action is necessary, but I'll be happy to try to answer any questions that you have about any of these.
Any questions for George on number 31? Number 32?
Thank you. Item 32, parts A through O, represent the change orders with a cumulative total greater than $50,000 on their projects, and your approval is recommended.
Do I have a motion for approval of number 32?
Motion to approve item 32.
Second.
Any questions for George? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 33, Mr. Dells with the awards.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Secretary, Commissioners. I have for you item number 33, the awards. I have two parts for you. Part A is with regard to the February 12th, 2015 emergency letting, which was a bridge repair project on State Highway 11 in Tulsa County. This is an information-only item. The following item, referred to by call order, was awarded to the low bidder in accordance with state statutes for emergency projects, and that was call order 5. Again, it's an informational item only, but I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Any questions on this? Okay.
Thank you. Item B, with regard to the February 19th regular letting, it is recommended that the following items from the letting, referred to by call order, be awarded to the low bidders. It's call order 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, base plus the add alternate, 130, 140, 145, 150, 160, 170, 180, 200, 210, 220, 230, 235, 240, 250, 270, 280, 290, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, 380, 390, 395, 400, and 410. This concludes the recommendations for award. Your approval for Part B is recommended.
Do I have a motion for approval of Part B on number 33?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on any of the lettings? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
33 approved. Thank you. Mr. Patterson with the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, Mr. Secretary. Last week had occasion to be in Washington, D.C., and I will tell you from the experience that Secretary Ridley had, as well as what Tim Gatz and I had, sometimes together and sometimes separately, I can tell you that both of the reauthorizing committees of the Senate and the House remain extremely focused on getting a federal reauthorization bill done this year. We understand that there may be complications later on as they begin to look for additional money to fund such a program, but the will is there and the way is there to at least get that moving. Heard both Chairman Schuster and Chairman Inhofe speak to a group of ASHTO officials, and they reiterated that in a group setting beyond what we just heard individually. So that is good news from DC. We'll see how it plays out. There's a lot of moving parts, as you well know. The other item I was just going to discuss was something that Anthony just talked about, was the special bid letting that we had, and I know that you received a bit of a briefing this morning from Steve Jacoby, our bridge engineer, but Mr. Chairman, if I might, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about, was the update on Dirty Butter Creek. If I might, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask Steve to come up and give that.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, Commissioners. As Mr. Dels mentioned earlier, we had an emergency letting on February 12th this week to address deficiency issues on Dirty Butter Creek, State Highway 11. It is North 36th Street in Tulsa. We had that letting on the 12th. We had a work order for the repairs that was in effect Friday the 13th. We worked in close daily contact with the contractor, Paradigm Construction, with our field division personnel in Division 8. Part of this project was to do the geotechnical investigation to verify what we had assumed in our foundation design. That took place over the 3-day weekend. Also, members of Bridge Division were in close contact with regards to approval of shop drawings for the replacement beam, which supported the east abutment. The repairs went fairly well. The only issue we had was during the construction of one of the drilled shafts, we struck oil. The contractor worked with the Corporation Commission to mitigate the effects of the oil that was there. I don't believe we are getting any royalties on whatever oil they recovered. This past Monday, the 23rd, I was up in Division 8 for interviews and swung by the job site. They're finishing up there, and while I was there, they received notice that their concrete strengths were achieved, and at that time they opened the highway up to traffic. I will be welcome to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions on this?
What did, Mr. Chairman, what is the traffic count? I think I know, but do you know the traffic count on that bridge?
Not off the top of my head. For the type of facility it is, it's a narrow 2-lane road that's, for the type of facility, it was relatively high.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I guess that's due to the urban nature of the site.
How much?
12,000.
Yeah. That's a lot on a 2-lane road.
Yep.
We were fortunate in this location that there was a fairly close local detour, which I think most of the people took. The assigned detour, which utilized state highway system, was substantially longer, but I think most of the local traffic found their way around it fairly easily.
Okay. Any other questions? Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mike? Okay. Moving on to number 35. I think periodically shaking things up is a good thing, and talked with Secretary Ridley and Director Patterson about doing that with the officers. So if I could ask for a nomination, we have 3 officers. We have Secretary Treasurer, we have Vice Chair and Chairman. So if I could ask first of all for a nomination for the Secretary Treasurer position.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Todd Huckabee.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Mike, do we need to do a formal?
Yes.
Okay. If I could ask for 1 vote or 3.
Need for one for each
one.
Okay, Chair, if I could have a roll call on the Secretary Treasurer Todd Huckabee nomination.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Abstain.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Aye. He knows himself the best and he abstained. Should we reconsider?
Jackie Cooper.
Okay. Thank you, Todd. And Todd presently is Secretary Treasurer, so that is good news. Next, the Vice Chair. If I could have a nomination for the Vice Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Brad Burgess for Vice Chair.
Very good. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Okay. Sherry, if I could have a roll call.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Abstain.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Great. Lastly, if I could have a nomination for the chairman position.
I'd like to nominate David Burridge.
If I could have a second on that.
A second.
Roll call, please, Sherry.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Abstain.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Aye.
Mr. Huckabee.
Aye.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Yes.
Great. So we've got three very talented guys who care a lot about ODOT and about what they're doing, and they take everything that goes with what they do here very seriously. And we're fortunate to have all three of these guys. So appreciate that. And I've I guess 4 years ago, Secretary Ridley asked me to and the governor asked me to come on the commission, which I'm going to continue to serve as the Division 4 commissioner, and it's been very enjoyable. Secretary Ridley asked me to not only follow Jackie Cooper as the commissioner for Division 4, but he said, "Guess what? You get to be the chairman too." And what I said was, "Can you give me one meeting to like sit in here and figure out what's going on before I?" And he said, "Okay, I'll give you one meeting." So that was what I got. But anyhow, like I say, we got three great guys who will continue to move things forward here on the commission. And so, with that being said,
Mr. Chairman, if I may. First off, congratulations to the three people that are willing to step up and serve as part of the leadership of the agency. And again, we thank you very much, not only for your years of service on the commission, but also in now being part of the leadership as well. And the governor really appreciates Chairman Love taking over the reins immediately upon becoming commissioner, and how he was willing to do so and eagerly awaited that opportunity. But I want to tell you, he's been great to work with, and I think you see it up here that he has a genuine feel for the people that work in the agency and for the work you do. In his business and in his lifetime, he understands the need for good, solid transportation network, not only in this state but across the country. And for that, we thank you. The governor thanks you for your tenure as chairman, and looks for continued success as staying on the commission. Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Okay, if I could ask for an adjournment motion.
So moved.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Very good. Roll call, please, Sherry.
Mr. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Yes.
Mr. Overland.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Regan.
Aye.
See, I couldn't stand it. I should have passed the gavel to Burridge, but I just, I couldn't stand it. So you'll get that next meeting. Meeting adjourned.